Governor Andy Beshear and Attorney General Daniel Cameron make more stops across the Commonwealth in this final stretch before Election Day. And one man who made a fortune in cryptocurrency has been found guilty of fraud in a New York City courtroom.
Plus, high pressure is the name of the game for this weekend. Those details on the way as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Both candidates for governor are traveling the state as early voting continues. Governor Andy Beshear started his day speaking with voters during a Teamsters shift change in Louisville. He is now traveling through western Kentucky. Attorney General Daniel Cameron visited with supporters in Georgetown, Richmond, Lancaster, Danville, and finally Somerset during his bus tour. Both say they have what it takes to win on Tuesday.
When you see people willing to turn out like this, it shows you this isn't my campaign, it's our campaign. And this administration's been about lifting every Kentucky family up.
This is a big county for us. We feel like we're going to turn the tide here, but we're going to turn the tide in a lot of counties because folks do not want a governor that openly endorses Joe Biden.
A poll that had Beshear with a commanding 16-point lead just a few weeks ago now has the race as a dead heat, tied at 47%. Shaping Our Appalachian Region, also known as SOAR, hosted its first Eastern Kentucky Diabetes Symposium in Hazard today. Dozens of health specialists gathered to learn more about diabetes and how it impacts folks across the region. Primary Care Centers of Eastern Kentucky CEO Barry Martin says this is a way to spread awareness on the need for diabetes education and more resources.
We have less certified diabetic educators in this area. So the major point of emphasis for the East Kentucky Diabetes Symposium is to create the awareness for more diabetic education in our area.
Martin says he hopes different organizations can work together in an effort to help as many folks as possible. And now we want to go to breaking news in the search of that collapsed coal prep building in Martin County. Officials are preparing, we believe, to share more information about the situation. This will be the second news conference of the day. The first one happened earlier this morning, and not a lot of new information came out of that one. We'll see if there's any major new developments today. Let's go now to that news conference. Officials now walking up to the podium. I see a state police trooper with them this time. I don't recall a state police trooper ever being with them in any of the other news conferences.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Jessica Elboab. I'm with Kentucky Emergency Management and the Public Information Officer. I have the judge here, and he's going to speak to you now.
And Judge Executive Lon Lafferty going.
Good afternoon. I'm Judge Executive Dr. Lon Lafferty. I have the unenviable task of confirming to you that both the workers, Billy Bo Daniels and Alvin Nees, both have been located. Both men are deceased. This is not the outcome that we had hoped for, that we had prayed for, but we knew going in that this was a very grim and very difficult situation. Workers there have worked tirelessly, and we still are in the process of recovering Mr. Daniels. Mr. Nees has been recovered. He is now with the coroner and will be taken to the state medical examiner in Frankfort. So I don't know what else to tell you at this point. We have others. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer it for any of the people with me. Have any questions?
Did you say Nees?
Nees, that's N-E-E-S. Alvin, he has been recovered.
And Daniels?
And Daniels, we are in the process of recovering him. And Command has told me that they hope and they expect that they will be able to recover him tonight.
We asked yesterday about where the men were inside the building. Do you guys know any more about that?
Maybe that, Director, do you have any of the comment on that?
Well, I think the best I could comment, in the shape the building's in, it would just be hard to describe or tell you that. You know, if kind of the side you're looking at, if you called that the front, they were just inside from that side several feet, and then there's some different levels and things like that. So, you know, there's really not like to be able to say that it was on the such and such floor or down the hall, because there's none of that exists. It's just, you know, a large rubble pile.
What does that mean for you all? I know you said this has been, you know, just devastating these past few days, trying to find these people. What does that mean to be able to bring some closure to these families to let them know that, you know, they have been found?
I spent time with the families after we found out. They're down at one of our local churches, and it's obviously a very trying time if you've ever lost someone, you know how difficult that is. I think it was exceptionally so for this family because of the weight of not knowing the unknown, but they're handling it as well as can be expected. They're a very strong family, an incredible family, have a lot of faith in God, and I suspect it's going to be very difficult, obviously, the next few days, but I also expect that they will pull through this.
What happens next in the efforts for this collapse?
Well, there's still a lot of investigation going on. We're joined with the KSP today, but it's obviously a death investigation. But I don't have any information or comment about that.
Trooper Coleman, can you comment on anything about where the investigation is right now?
Like you said, you know, this was a until they were located. Then at that point, you know, all of our folks with all the agencies here working. So we're still kind of early on, even though we've been here a few days. We're still early on in the investigation. So as far as, you know, the cause of the collapse or anything like that, we don't have those details right now.
Okay. Thank you all.
All right, a short but very sad update from officials, and you can see in the background there, we're allowed to get close to the site of the collapse. You can see some of the rubble there in the background. This is, as of until this morning, we weren't able to get that close, and as the camera zooms in, you can see just a portion of that rubble. A several-story coal plant just reduced to rubble. And again, the sad update is both Billy Bo Daniels and Alvin Neese are confirmed dead. Officials say both men have been located. Neese's body has been recovered and is being taken to the coroner. Crews are in the process of recovering Daniels' body, and they hope that will take place before the end of the night. You saw Kentucky State Police joining officials during this afternoon's news conference. They could not provide much on the investigation, but obviously a death investigation is underway, and still very few details about what may have caused this building to collapse. Obviously a long investigation ahead. We'll continue to have a reporter at the scene. We'll have an update on Mountain News at 6, but again, the sad headline of the hour is that both men are now confirmed dead, Billy Bo Daniels and Alvin Neese. Of course, we knew that Daniels had died. There was still a glimmer of hope that somehow, by some miracle, that Alvin Neese could be found alive, but that hope was dimming. And then the sad news this afternoon that they have found both bodies and are in the process of recovering both bodies. Again, we'll continue to update this story as we get it. We'll have an update tonight at 6, and you can always find the latest on WYMT's news app and WYMT.com.
We are tracking some dry, also sunny weather across the mountains as we close out your work week. Let's take a live look across the region from London to Hazard to Pikeville. You can see a similar scene across the region right now. Plenty of blue sky and sunshine. Also some warmer weather on your Friday. Most of us right now in the middle to lower 60s, and some of us up to 10 degrees warmer on Friday than we were on Thursday. That warming trend will continue as well into this weekend, all thanks to an upper level ridge or an area of high pressure. And you can see those winds continue to move out of the south, so that means some more warmer weather will continue to filter into the mountains as we go into this weekend, also into early next week. But if you have plans to tailgate for high school football, those playoff games later on this evening, we stay dry, but you may need that jacket. Those temperatures back in the upper 40s and lower 50s once the sun sets. And Steve, some 70s are possible for much of next week. Those details coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Cameron, thank you. And coming up on First at 4, just as stores ramp up holiday hiring, a jobs report just released today shows signs of a weakening market.
Plus, you may need the jacket for those tailgate plans, but some 70s on the way by next week. Those details coming up after this break.